Ladies and gentlemen, Jason Andrews, the All-American driver. Can you guys believe it? It has been 4 years of ownership with the Shelby GT350R, and I think it's time to do a full modification breakdown on everything I've done with the car and also touch on my ownership experience. Has it been reliable? What issues have I had? And do I recommend buying this car? Starting right at the front, obviously you can see I have some aftermarket aero. This is all from Archetype Racing. I've got his canards, I've got his Lancer splitter that's mounted to the chassis, and I've also got a racing tow hook. Overall, I think this front end looks incredible, and it's all functional aero. Moving along to the side, we have more Archetype Racing carbon fiber aero. These are the side splitter extensions. These kind of replicate the side splitter extensions on the GT500, although I think these are a little bit wider. This is the Banshee, all carbon fiber. This thing is a monstrous piece, awesome, looks awesome, and again, functional. There's not a lot of tread left on these. Don't ask me how that happened. These are the Goodyear Supercar 3Rs. Now I am running 305 in the rear and 305 front. Yep, a square setup. And I'll be honest, going from a staggered setup as they come from the factory, I actually prefer a square setup on track. So right now, the Goodyear Supercar 3Rs, and I really like them. One of the first things I did when I got this car was paint protection film, okay? I did the door jambs, the door cups. I did a strip all along the front here because I did get some rock chips on my last GT350. We did the mirrors, for all the fenders, the hood, all the front fascia, headlights, everything like that. So this has all been protected since basically the car was new, and it still looks fantastic and it's easy to clean. I also did the Suma Performance reflective glass. This is actually a wide angle, non-reflective, and I actually really like this. I have no blind spots, left or right, driver's side or passenger, and the blue looks cool and there's no reflection. Win-win. That pretty much sums it up on the outside. On the inside, the only thing I've done is the roll cage, harnesses, and instead of cutting up the factory rear seat delete, I put a softer texture rear seat delete in there. This cage is kind of cool because it came out of my buddy Kai's car, and when he traded it in for his AMG GTR, his R, I went to that dealership and I pulled the cage and I put it in this car. I've loved it. I love the way harnesses feel on track, and the red with all the red stitching, the red steering wheel, everything like that, it looks really good. For suspension, I've done the M&M front camber caster plates, and I've done the BMR rear subframe supports, basically. And honestly, the car is perfect. Like, it feels really balanced on track. I'm very happy with it. I'm running about -2 degrees camber on all 4 corners. It doesn't tramline anymore. Last time I was at the racetrack, as soon as I came off track, I took the tire temps on this inside to outside, and they were dead even inside and outside. So I know that this camber is aligned like as good as possible. Another thing I've done is ceramic tinted all the windows, even the front windshield, and that's pretty much a must, especially for me. I got pretty fair skin. Stock exhaust because this thing sounds incredible. Stock engine because these things have a tendency to blow up. And that's pretty much it. Just some basic bolt-on, some aero, some suspension work, and the car's perfect. Like, it drives perfect. I've got about 7,000 miles on this car. I will say about half of them are on track, right? I've driven this car pretty hard. I bought it with just over 1,000 miles. I'm confident that the break-in period was done correctly. I've had no oil consumption issues. No issues at all. This thing starts every time. It sounds incredible, drives great, it's fast on track. And overall, I just couldn't be happier with how this car is performing. Do I think that somebody should buy a GT350R specifically? That really depends, you know. Are you somebody who likes to do a lot of modifications? If you are, I would say it's probably not worth getting the R. I mean, I could put some aftermarket wheels on this. Why? I have the carbon fiber wheels. I could put an aftermarket wing on, and I've been tempted, don't get me wrong. Why? I have the carbon fiber wing already. I did do some aero modifications, but all this did was enhance the factory stuff already. I didn't replace anything. Now, I'm sure I'm gonna get some conflict in the comments about this next statement, but this engine, the Voodoo engine, in my opinion, is not the most reliable engine, especially if you're gonna be modifying this thing, right? I really think a Coyote engine, if you're one who wants to add power, add boost, add nitrous, add whatever, the Voodoo motor, I know so many people who have lost motors on this. I know so many people who are continuing to lose motors. So this is your third motor?
Yes.
In this car. Some are tuned, some aren't. You know, there's also guys, outliers out there who have 20, 30, 40,000 hard miles on their car without any issues. But I can speak from experience. My last car, I blew a motor with just over 1,000 miles and I wasn't even mobbing on it. As far as the Gen 1, Gen 2 engines are concerned, sure, I think that the Gen 2 is probably a little bit more reliable engine. You know, the R, they have some upgraded internals from the factory, so this is slightly different than a normal Gen 1 Voodoo engine. Maybe this will never have any issues. You know, cross my fingers. This has been the most reliable car I've had, you know. I always joke, GT350R, that R stands for reliable. So if you're somebody who really wants to tinker around with a car, upgrade it, the GT350, the GT350R, in my opinion, is not the best platform to do that. Now, if you're somebody who wants a car, a one and done car that you pick up, you drive, sounds perfect, drives perfect, it's fast, everything, and you don't want to mess with it, yeah, I think it's a great car. It's a really fantastic car. The thing is, with these cars, we're starting to see them get out of warranty, right? I have a couple months left of warranty on this car, and I really need to decide what I'm gonna do. I personally will not own a GT350 without the extended warranty. That's just me. Some guys, they're better mechanics, they're more inclined to do some of their own work and things like that, but for me, I just can't risk it. I mean, this is a $30,000 engine, and to coming out of warranty, to pay that out of pocket, it's just not worth it to me. So I really need to decide what I'm gonna do. Now, do I think that this car is perfect? Honestly, it's really close, but that depends on who you are as a driver. For me, I've enjoyed every minute of owning this GT350R.